Hi, welcome back to Naturally Curious Minnesota. I'm Lauren, and we have another winter tree ID video for you today. All right, today we're going to look at these trees here. Take a quick, close look at these to try and figure out what kind of trees these are. As always, we're going to look at the characteristics of the tree. Where are they growing? What does the bark look like? What do the buds look like? The twigs look like? We're going to use all those keys to tell us what kind of tree it is. Okay, here's a nice look at one of the trees here. You can see all the way up to the top. This tree really just has one main trunk, and if you notice, it does not have opposite branching. The branches are not coming off straight across from each other. It's very much alternate pattern, and the bark is a light whitish gray color. The older it gets, down towards the bottom, the more gray it gets, and the more cracked and furrowed it gets, all the way down to the bottom. Here's a close look at that bark. You can see it's pretty white up there, and as we get further down, we can see where those branches have been coming out. We can also see that there's some lichen growing on the bark as well. And as we zoom out and we get further down towards the base, the bark turns very gray and cracked and furrowed until we get all the way down to the bottom. All right, and as you can see, I am in a stand of a lot of these trees. I'm standing right in the middle of it. So this tree likes to grow all together, and that is a very big tip-off because this tree actually tends to clone itself. So this might all be the same tree. It's just sprouted up from different roots from all over the place. So these might not be individual trees. These might all be the same tree growing off the same root system. Okay, so I gave you a bunch of clues for what kind of tree this is. The bark is white, especially up at the top, though it gets grayer as it goes down and very furrowed at the bottom. It does not peel away from the trunk of the tree. That's very important. It has alternate branching, like most of the trees do. This is not an opposite branching mad horse tree, maple, ash, dogwood, or horse chestnut. So it's not one of those. We know that. It also grows in a stand of lots of them, which could actually be one individual species, as this species tends to clone itself from the same root system. What kind of tree is this? Well, this tree is, in fact, a quaking aspen tree. I'll see if I can find some leaves for you. Okay, way up there on those few of those branches there, you can see a few leaves are still hanging on, and maybe you can even see that they are kind of triangle-shaped, deltoid. So you might be able to see that that's there. Those are the leaves of the quaking aspen. And if I pan over, there's that white bark of the tree that is not peeling back. And here are some leaves that I found on the ground. Not a great example because they're kind of furled up and you can't really see that triangle shape on there, but we can see some buds. There's the buds on them. And we can see that alternate pattern, and this actually broke just as I picked it up, but you can see that alternate pattern. And what we're looking at here, all those bumps, those are old leaf scars. That's where previous year's leaves came off of the twig, and they're in that zigzag fashion all around this twig. We even have a few spaces where you might be able to see a little ring. That's a little ring of growth. So you can see from year to year how much it grew. There's one there, and there's another one up there. So those are old leaf scars. That's another way to identify a tree too, is to take a close look at the twig and what the pattern is for those leaf scars. So the tree that we are identifying today is called a quaking aspen tree. It's called a quaking aspen tree because when the tree has its leaves and the wind blows, those leaves, those triangle-shaped leaves, look like they're shaking or quaking in the wind. Pretty easy to identify those if you're ever walking along in the woods and there's a gentle wind and there's a bunch of leaves that look like they're shaking. So this tree is also easy to identify by its bark. A lot of people do confuse this with the white or the paper birch tree because of the white bark, but a white or paper birch tree will have its bark peeling off of the trunk. And you can see here behind me, the bark is not peeling off the trunk. It is white, even to a little bit grayish as we get further down, and it has those gray marks, furrows where old branches were, and the bark is just a little bit older. But because it's not peeling, and because it is growing in a nice big stand like this, we know that it is a quaking aspen tree. So nice straight trunk with white to grayish bark that is not peeling away, and it grows in a big stand like this. You most likely have a quaking aspen tree, Populus tremuloides. I love that one. Okay, so that was today's tree, a quaking aspen tree. Get outside, take a look at some trees, see if you can find some quaking aspen trees somewhere, and show off your newfound knowledge of how to identify them. And as always, stay curious.